Welcome back to another episode of Omni Garage After Hours. So today behind me we've got a Subaru, blue car, WRX, whatever you want to call it, that is really dirty that we're going to clean up today. So it is pretty dirty for us, and this car hasn't been clean for a good couple of weeks. We've had some stormy weather come through. Glenn and I have had a really busy week in the detailing studio here. We haven't had enough time to clean our own vehicles. So for this podcast, we're going to clean this one behind us. So today we're going to do a rinseless wash, and we're going to show you that you can actually clean a pretty dirty car very easily, very safely using a rinseless wash. So here we've got DIY Detail Rinseless Wash. This is V2. This is their new rinseless wash that I really enjoy using. I can tell that it's V2 because V1 was a more of a bright yellowy kind of color, kind of looked like a bit like apple juice. Still got that nice apple scent, but this one here's a little milky and a little bit hazy in the bottle. Still got that nice apple scent, but this has just had an increase in basically the slickness and probably a little bit of the polymer package just to give it more slickness, increase the cleaning power, and still does a really fantastic job. This rinseless wash is a hybrid, contains surfactants and polymers, and it just does a really good job of breaking down that dirt and grime, encapsulating it, pulling it off the surface so we can easily swipe across the surface and pull all that dirt and grime off. I'm going to show you a couple of different cleaning tools that we use, or basically application tools of getting this product onto the surface. We're going to use the IK pump sprayer, which we used to like. I'm not necessarily so much of a fan of it anymore, but we'll show you how you can use that. But my new fan favorite is the Solo battery powered sprayer. We'll tell you the difference between these two, why I like one over the other, but let's get stuck in because Glenn's doing some weird maneuver over the camera to block out the sunlight, and we'll just get cleaning. I'd like to have a little bet, but I'm probably the only person around that's got the signed bottle of Rinseless Wash V2 by none other but the man himself, Ivan LaCroix.
So let's show you guys the pre-condition of this car. This is filthy. Hopefully you can see on the rockers here we've got a lot of dirt, but where it gets pretty nasty is...
People like to comment that we don't actually clean dirty cars. Well, here's a dirty car.
Yeah, I mean, look at all of the pollen that we've got sitting up here. The back of the car, we've got a lot of pollen, water spots. Have a look at it down here as well. This is pretty much as dirty as our vehicles are going to get, and as Glenn said, it's been neglected for a bit. I mean, look at that. We are looking dirty. The rinseless wash can do a great job at bringing this up. Look at that bottom panel here, and this is probably the worst part of the car. Look at this rocker on the passenger side. All the way along, we are looking filthy. So I'm looking forward at seeing how the rinseless wash does at just breaking down some of this dirt, because typically you'd look at that and go, you need a pressure washer. You need to get that off. But I think the rinseless wash.
And usually I would use a pressure washer in this situation. I would definitely do a bit of a pre-spray underneath, and I would foam on and then rinse off. You could use something like Detail Code Bugs Dirt and Exterior along the rockers, and I would usually do that, and that's how I'd recommend doing the washing. We're a time crunch. Glenn and I are actually sick of cleaning cars, and so we're just going to do a rinseless wash. It's still a nice, safe technique. You've got to be a little bit careful about it, but you can definitely clean a car like this using a rinseless wash method.
So we're going to get stuck in with the setup here. So we've got the one bucket with the dolly. We've got the DIY Detail foam mitts there as well. Well, they're not mitts, are they? They're like foam sponges. As Glenn said, we've got the two different sprayers we're going to use.
So we've got 5 gallons in here.
Yep.
We're going to do a 256:1 dilution like every other rinseless wash. 1 ounce to 2 gallons of water. So we're going to do...
I think about 70 millilitres.
Yeah, something like
Should
that.
be the number for the bucket that we've measured out before. And that's sadly almost going to see the end to our DIY Detail Rinseless V2. How much have we got left in there?
We've got enough for another wash.
One more wash. We dump that in. Glenn's going to mix that up. Can't quite make the cappuccino in there, but... get a little bit of foaming action out of this rinseless. And then all he's going to do is grab both of these bottles here, dunk them in, and fill them up from our solution rather than having to make a separate solution for the two bottles that we're using. Now the IK here is something that we've been using for probably 4 or 5 months, and I mean this is all right. Glenn's kind of had some frustrations with this around the amount of liquid that it puts out. You can control it to some degree, but we also have the Solo, that this is the first time we're going to use that in a rinseless wash application. I enjoy this Multi Pro 2 versus the Foam Pro 2. I find the Multi Pro holds the pressure a lot easier, and I think it's just because you're delivering a different product. You're not trying to foam this up. But the this one here, the Solo 260 battery operated, this is going to be effortless. So
this is also good if you're going to be using things like iron remover, where you're going to spray a lot on the vehicle, or your water spot remover. And even if you're going to deliver like a drying aid, I think that, you know, the removal of having to do the trigger when you're doing large volume of application of product, this electric trigger is just so nice. And it's a really nice built product, so I do like enjoy using it. The only thing I'd like to see is the neck of the bottle's a bit small, but then...
Well, it's for the thread of this,
but it's for the thread of that. Now this here will thread onto most of your bottles too, so you don't actually have to use that bottle, which is, I guess, pros and cons.
I think the only time we're going to use this bottle is where we have to dilute a product that's not already made up, or when we're using it for rinseless wash. Otherwise, we just put that top on any of the bottles that we're using at the time. Chuck that on there. And I mean, we'll just do this live, eh? One shot, get this on the car. Show the people how that's going to agitate. Not agitate, we're not agitating yet. Now with this, with the Solo, so you can change that nozzle, because obviously you want to probably get it a little bit wetter than that, maybe not quite as much as Glenn's got there, but say you can get pretty big stream all the way down to a really fine mist. Probably somewhere in between is the sweet spot with this. And then, I mean, we've said it before, we'll say it again, the whole idea here is just applying this product on the paint so it can start to encapsulate and then emulsify some of the dirt that we've got sitting on there. And as you can see today, it is heavy dirt.
And this is in complete contrast. You have to manually pump this one up.
And IK don't actually have a version of this yet that is electric. So they do have the Foam Pro 2, which is electric, but not the multi. Maybe it gives you an idea. I feel like this one puts out a bit more pressure in that direct stream. Similar.
So when we're using a rinseless wash, we like to pre-treat the area or pre-soak it so that it gives it time for that rinseless wash to break down the dirt and grime, start to encapsulate it and pull it off the surface. The other good thing about using a rinseless wash is that we have got a little bit of sun, but it's okay if it dries on the surface. You're just going to be left with polymer spots. And if you do have hard water, what this will do is just basically encapsulate the what's it called? The iron, not the iron, the minerals in the water. It'll encapsulate those. It won't like dissolve them and get rid of it, but it'll encapsulate them. It'll take it out of solution, so that if that does dry on there, you're not having minerals drying up onto the surface of your paint, so you can't really get water spots.
Can you come around the back and spray this bit? I just want to see it on here. Look at how dirty this is. I'm quite embarrassed by the current state of our vehicles. Everyone else's in the city are looking great. Ours are not. What's the initial Solo thoughts?
I prefer it way more than having to pump.
Okay. So what you're saying is you're lazy?
Not lazy, I just like being efficient, and mate, when you're cleaning every day of the week, this is way nicer.
Oh, you got gloves on. Why you got gloves on?
Oh, you know.
I would be quite happy with you. I've been wearing gloves actually for the last few days. And it's really nice not having dry hands from all of the polishing that we're doing.
And so here we're using the DIY Detail sponge. You can see that it's got nice slits in it. So what that does is it allows the dirt and all the stuff that we're pulling off the surface to go into the slits of the sponge here. But also it allows this to curve to the surface of the panel, and also reduces like high pressure points when you're pushing on the sponge, because it's just going to conform to the surface. So this sponge has got some, you know, multi-purposes to that. And you just want to get this sponge to the point of dripping. Just when the liquid's starting to come off is the perfect amount for you to then apply the surface. And you're going to do light pressure, rub it over the surface. You can then flip the sponge up, and then you can then dunk it back in the bucket. And what's good about this rinseless wash is that it's going to pull all the dirt and grime out of the sponge. It's going to dump it into the bucket so that you've got a nice clean sponge ready to go and then address the next panel on the vehicle.
It's been a little while since we've used the DIY Detail. Probably since the big wash battle. I don't know about you, but I haven't really had an awful lot of time to be rinseless washing my cars. I think since that wash battle, I might have rinseless washed once.
Yeah, I haven't done any rinseless washing in a while either. And DIY Detail did come out in our top 5 of our rinseless wash battle, so We really do like enjoying using this. And actually, one of the other interesting things that I sort of picked up from Ivan and the team at DIY Detail is that we make up a bucket of rinseless solution, and we use a dampened rinseless towel, and we use that to wipe all of the polish residue off the vehicle. It's a really nice, safe technique for doing that, and also it allows you to clean the, like around the panel gaps and areas like that.
Game changer.
That pulls all that polish out, so you're not having to really clean the vehicle at the end. And yep, so good. That's a real key pro detailing tip that I like to pass on to you guys from Ivan and I. Basically life changing.
It's in like all of the crevices around the window trim, isn't it? And typically you go, oh hey, look, you'll get that in the first wash, or you may get it at the end of the detail when it's already kind of baked in. But if you're doing it in the moment, like that is a great little trick that we've learnt with our rinseless over the last little while.
So look, I've purposely gone down the bottom there and I've picked up all the dirt that's on the red part of the sponge, and everyone knows that they're like the one dunk. This is the one dunk test to see how well the rinseless wash does at cleaning, pulling that grime out of there. I think for those of you who have watched the channel quite a lot, we presented Eddie Cologne with a nice picture of his face on there at SEMA last year because he was the one dunk king. He's basically what got us involved with rinseless washing, and this is kudos to him. This is the one dunk test. One dunk.
I'll wring it out and then bring that back over. It's the power of rinseless. This is a really dirty car and there's nothing left on there.
So now this is clean, ready for me to then tackle the next panel.
I know you've already sprayed the car, but I just want to have a... Oh, yeah.
That's nice, eh?
It is.
Real
that stream
nice.
that you've got it on, is that what you're quite happy with?
Oh, I think you can play around with it a little bit. The whole thing for me is that the IK sprayer, I think, produces too much liquid at too much of a pressure, and then it ends up wetting my drive, ends up wetting my concrete floor.
Yeah, I see. That argument for me, I find is a bit weak. Because your car gets wet outside.
Yeah, but then what happens is I'm walking through all this.
Oh, I get, okay.
And then I end up slipping over.
Yeah, because I guess the argument is you're bringing your car in wet, you're hopping out of it and going inside.
I'm not going around, but then when I'm traipsing around the car and I'm getting all, see, that there is just a nice mist, it gets it on there, but it's not so much that it's pulling it all the way down the panel. And,
yeah.
You know, like it's a manageable amount of liquid.
Yeah. No,
I'll bring you around here and show you what we're talking about. So, I mean, I just struggle to control the amount of liquid that I'm pulling down with the IK. So Glenn's done that down there. And you can see it's only put a little bit of liquid on the concrete there.
Hang on, let me do it with the IK. We'll just see. I'll kind of go my normal, let's go my normal method. So let's go to the front door here because there's nothing on there.
And everyone wants to soak it down. I get you want to soak it down, but I don't want to soak it down completely. Otherwise I might as well pull it outside.
Okay, here's how I normally use the IK. And then the solo. Yeah, it's definitely put less liquid on there. I think you're going to see it. Obviously, it's going to start dripping quicker on the left-hand side there because we sprayed that first, but the driveway should be a real test of how much is on there. And I mean, look, we're quite dirty. Maybe you want a little bit more on the bottom there.
Maybe I would, but I would never really push this car this far to do a rinseless in a typical format.
No, absolutely not. This is probably a good candidate right now for just a traditional wash. Like, how often are you letting your car get this dirty, typically? And doing a rinseless versus pulling out the
not usually.
Water? Yeah.
I'm not usually going this far.
But I think this is going to be a good little test today to show the people that you can take your car this far and rinseless is still going to do a great job at cleaning it.
And excuse the no wing mirror, I had some dude try and kick my wing mirror in the other day, so the cops managed to find him, and so I've got an order a new part that's coming. So
you should probably let the people know you didn't do anything to this guy.
No, I didn't do it. I was parked at work. I was parked on the side of the road at work, and I get a phone call from the cop saying, by the way, so-and-so's kicked your car, he's kicked the wing mirror off. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah, but the justice system's not going to get him, is it? Police got him, but who's out of pocket? You're out of pocket. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's always the way.
Because, I mean, the insurance company will cover, but probably not to the amount that it actually covers when you take into account your excess. It's a bit unfortunate. So, you know, one of the things that I really enjoy about doing a rinseless wash, especially after we've been doing this all week, is not having to drag the pressure washer out. This just feels like a luxury.
Yeah, it is a.
The detailing dishes today are going to be light. One bucket, a couple of sponges, a couple of drying towels, we're going to be done.
And here's some more dirt here, just to, you know, prove to you that it's not just a one-hit wonder.
Now the only thing I've just noticed
Another dunk.
about this,
Here you are, nice clean sponge. What are you noticing?
well, the only thing I've noticed is I don't think that's going to be enough liquid, 1 litre, to get around the car to do a rinseless wash. I think you're gonna
need a little bit more.
Yeah, I think not a huge amount more, maybe another 250 mils.
But that's all right, because you can re-dunk that bottle back in here.
You can. Yeah, see, we're running light. What about the argument here where you're putting this in a dirty bucket of water now?
Well, the argument would say that all that dirt that's in the bucket
Yep.
has been encapsulated and is safe water. The dirt would have been pushed to the bottom.
We have a grit guard in there as well.
Got a grit
or
guard,
detail
and so you've technically filled up with, it's a little dirty, like the water's a little dirty, but all that dirt is encapsulated, so
Yep.
the risk should be nothing. That would be the argument. I don't know if that's a true argument or not.
I guess you could go and you could fill this up now, you could go and make up a mixture, but you've got to do more calculation there, don't you? This is nice. This gives it a really light misting at that point there. Yeah, I think I'm converted to electric for rinseless.
So there's quite a lot of crud on here.
Yeah, that puts out way more liquid. Look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably at the same kind of rate. Way more.
Well, it's also under some pressure.
Yeah.
So you could use this if you wanted to do like a rinse. You know, like you had put some, I don't know, bugs, dirts and exterior on here and you wanted to hit the lowers with this. You could use this with the pressure as a way of rinsing, you know, like you would with your pressure washer. So there is an argument for that, I guess.
Is this my solo or your solo? You crack your box or are you going to do it at home?
No, that's your solo.
Oh, yeah.
I've got the freshie in the box.
Nice freshie.
So after all of that, this was a dirty part. This is also the picture that you saw in the thumbnail. I've got this one big chunk left. And it looks like it's like embedded.
That's pretty well embedded, isn't it? Look at it.
Yeah, I doubt you'd even get that off with soap.
That's kind of that dirt where, like, if you even hit it with a pressure washer, it's probably still going to leave a little bit underneath.
It would still be
anyway,
there, yeah.
And you need to manually agitate it. How's it going to feel to have one of your cars actually clean?
Well, it's not really, because we went out and did flower drops in the rain one day, last week,
Oh, yeah, I'm real sorry about that.
and you had the muddiest feet, and I haven't cleaned it, and now it smells like muddy people in there.
Oh, yeah, well, what happened is we were doing a bit of marketing for the detailing business, and it was raining, and I accidentally stood on this mat. I stood on some mud, didn't I? And you're like, you're going to get that big chunk of mud off your toe, and I got it off on your
You got it off on my car mat.
Yeah, she needs an interior detail.
Yeah, well, I know a place.
Yeah?
omnigarage.co.nz would get that done for you.
They would, but they're fully booked at the moment. I'll have to see when I can fit you in.
Would you do a good discount for me, sir?
Probably not, because supply demand. Omni Garage is in demand right now.
Gotcha.
So therefore your price might actually be higher.
What about a coupon code?
I could do a coupon code.
Yeah, 50% off?
Yeah, I could do a coupon code for the House of Rags. Save 10% using the code Omni Garage.
Yeah.
It's Omni Garage, 10% off any of your detailing products. You can get DIY Detail V2.
And you can get that at thehouseofrags.co.nz and
Not .co.nz.com.
.com.
Or .com.au.
Yeah, why was I saying NZ? Oh, that's us.
Well, that's where we are.
And
easy coupon
if
code.
you use that code, saves you 10% off at checkout, but also we get a little bit of a kickback from that. We get a little bit of a commission off that, so it's no cost to you guys, but just full disclosure there that we do get a little bit back from that. How are we looking?
I think we're done.
Got the front bumper to do.
Oh yeah, front bumper. Can't neglect the front bumper. We need some new casters for these wheels, or for these bucket dollies. They like to roll away on us.
I think we need to get some bigger casters with a better locking mechanism on them.
Well, the locking mechanism needs to be easy enough that I can see it to like hit it with my foot.
Yeah.
Because those are tiny on there.
So, slightly bigger I think would be nice.
Yep. So, I mean, you've pretty much seen this whole rinseless wash on this video live in 15 minutes. That's all it's taken us, for the two of us to get this done. Pretty quick process. We're showing you time and time again on our channel, on the House of Rags channel. Really, really quick.
And I mean, you could just leave the vehicle like it is. It's not going to give any water spots, but what you will be left behind with is if this dries is you're going to end up with these little white dots everywhere that people will freak out and think that it's water spots. It's just polymer spots.
Yep.
We're going to go along now with a drying towel and a drying aid to dry the vehicle. You could just get away with a towel if you wanted to dry this vehicle. Because the product's already on the surface, we've already got lubrication on here, so there's real no need for a drying aid, but we'll do that just to add a little bit of gloss, a little bit of protection, and to give it a little bit of water beading, and that's basically how you do a quick rinseless wash. And I think we've proven to you guys that you can do this on a dirty vehicle very safely, very easily. You saw some big chunks of dirt, we managed to get rid of that, and I think you can do this at home very simply.
Yeah, what we'll do, we'll dry this car off now. We won't bring you along on that, but we will show you once it's done, and we'll show you some before and afters of especially those big chunks of dirt. Look at the paint. This was really, really dirty around this area here, all up around this arch.
And we haven't done the wheels in this video. And typically I would be staying away from wheels, especially when they're dirty like this. This is where you do have to bring out the pressure washer to blow away that brake dust and dirt and grime. It just creates too much of a mess. You end up with a real muddy pit of stuff. So I'd leave the wheels alone. I mean, we'll drive this for the next week or so, and then we'll get them in the next proper foam wash that we'll do with the pressure washer.
Yeah, the other bit that was really dirty on here was at the back of the car.
There was bird poo here, I think, from memory.
Yeah, there was, right in that corner there. That came off really easy. And then just all in all, the car's looking fantastic. So I think that just goes to show that you can have a pretty dirty car, use rinseless wash, and get some pretty awesome results. Ignore the wheels on here, but paint-wise, we're back and you're ready to tackle another week. Finally with a clean car.
Well, there's two dirty ones behind me, so.
Yeah, who knows what we'll tackle next, but that wraps it up for this week. I think our time has changed on the House of Rag. So we were 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time now. So join us next week.
So that's it from Omni Garage. We've got another House of Rag shipment coming with some more cool products that we'll be able to show you guys as we use them. But we really enjoy using the DIY Detail Rinseless Wash. Go over to their page, buy yourself a bottle of that. You can't go wrong. Stay tuned for the next video. Catch you on the next one.